Okay, so what happened here is I found some water pooling up in here again. I did a video a couple of days ago where I replaced this fitting here on the cold intake, the inlet line, and it was very obvious it was coming from here. And because it's happening again, I know the water is coming from here. You can see the moisture underneath here, the bubbles and the steam, and the hot line, there's nothing in there. So gravity's kind of pulling the water downward here. What happens is these tanks, when they get hot, they expand, and a relief valve relieves that pressure on the tank. And when these things start to go bad, it could be a problem. And because this was the weakest link at the time, this is where the leak started from. And now that this has been fixed, it's leaking from the next weakest link, which is here. And I'm sure a lot of people in my previous video are going to flame me. People that are experienced with this will probably say that you should replace this too. But I'm a cheap homeowner, so I didn't mind. These things only cost $15, so I went ahead and got a replacement one. And we're going to go ahead and do it. And this is going to be a homeowner do-it-yourself project. This is not a professional repair by any means. This is just to give homeowners out there the confidence that it's not that hard to do this, and you can do it relatively cheap with tools you may have. So first things first, I shut the power off here, and we're letting this cool. Right, we want to turn off the water inlet so we're not dealing with water coming in while we're working. So make sure it's nice and tight, because I know that's a little bit of a leaky valve. I already know that. So what we're going to do is we're going to let it cool off a little bit, because this gets really hot and it's really dangerous to monkey around with this when it's this hot. We're talking serious burns, and you definitely don't want to make a trip to the hospital over this. So we're going to let this cool down. I already attached a hose to let the water out. I'm going to only let out about 1/4 of the tank of water, because I'm going to need the weight here when I go to take this off. And what I learned from this, I need to put a lot of torque on that with a monkey wrench to get it off. It's on there really tight, and you're going to need that weight of the water in the tank to hold it steady while you turn it. So, alright, we're going to give it an hour and we'll be back. Okay, so this is what we're going to need for this project. Starting from right to left, we got the 18-inch pipe wrench or monkey wrench. We got pipe pliers, vice grips, this part here, which is the replacement valve, Home Depot, $15. Hopefully it's the right size, 3/4. It comes already with the Teflon on there, but we're going to go ahead and put some extra on there to be safe. And we're also going to use this True Blue pipe thread sealant. It's optional. I see some tutorials on YouTube use it, some don't. But we're going to use it because we want to make sure we get a good seal. Might as well if we have it. This may change if I use any tools. If I need a tool that's not here and I end up using it, I'll put it in the description. This should be a relatively easy project, maybe 20 minutes, a half hour. The hardest part of this is going to be this nipple fitting in here that joins these two connectors together. That's going to be the tough one to get off. That's where I'm going to struggle the most. So we'll have to see how it goes. Okay, so this loosened up real easy with the pliers. Didn't take much at all. I could probably hand loosen this from here. Go. Alright, so that part was cake. This is going to be the hard part. So I'm going to leave this in the water heater and use a monkey wrench first to use that leverage to try to take this off without chewing this. I'm going to try to save this, not chew it up too much. Okay, so this did the trick. It didn't take much pressure at all. to get that loose. As you can see, super easy. I'm gonna do the rest by hand. Get this off of here. Ooh, look at that. So we'll get that cleaned up and then we'll work on this one. So we got this cleaned up as best as I could. I scraped it with a butter knife, get all those barnacles off of there, the calcium deposits. Did the best I could. Got some of the old Teflon tape off. I verified that it fits. It's the right size, fits in the new valve perfectly. So we're going to get this prepped up. We'll put some Teflon tape on here and we'll start working on taking off the old valve. It's a little awkward to do with the camera. I'm not set up for hands-free here. In it now. Got some water bubbling up. So it may not be cool enough yet. That's just the steam escaping. And it's got a copper tint to it, which I flushed this out 2 or 3 times. So it should be running clear. So I'm not sure where that's coming from. I'm going to let that subside and then I'll finish hand untightening it. So there was some steam escaping from here, so we just let it go do its thing until it finished, just to be on the safe side. Definitely don't want to get sprayed with hot water. These can be dangerous, so you always want to play it cautious. That's why we turned the power off, gave it enough time to settle. But you can see it's all like rusted out here, all this residue. So we're gonna, it's bubbling up, somebody's using the water. So we're gonna get this out of here. I'll vacuum out a little bit in here, clean this up, and try to replace it. So while we have this one out, let's take a look in the light. It gets all gunky in there. This thing is way overdue to be replaced. This tank is over 10 years old, so I've definitely got my money's worth out of it at this point. Up here it's all dirty and gunked up, so what I'm going to do is I removed this with a screwdriver, just pried it up, and I'm going to clean the threads in there a little better, and I'm going to try to wash this a little bit in the sink. Put that back. There we go. So I put a little Teflon tape on top of the existing tape that was on there, just to, you know, just a little bit. And this one we're going to, oh, don't tell me it's not long enough. Don't tell me it's not long enough. It's not long enough. There were longer ones too, but it looked like, from the outside, it looked like they were the same height. But they're not. It's a little longer. So I wonder, that cap isn't doing much if I can save myself a trip back to the hardware store. See how low that is. Oh, I decided to bring this back to the hardware store. I took the Teflon tape off. Might as well get the right part, do it the right way. This cap actually, if I can get it off. Actually, this ridge goes down into this crevice here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera with the shadow, but there's a crevice there, and it goes in between there, and I guess it seals it off so water can't get down there. So it probably does have a function. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this replaced for, because there was a taller one there that I ended up choosing this one, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Much better. 2.5 inches. Quick trip to Home Depot, swapped it out, no problem. Let's get the Teflon tape on there and finish this up. I have the Teflon tape on there now. We're going to coat it with True Blue and start by hand tightening this in there. The one problem I may run into that I'm a little worried about is depending upon when this tightens up, where that outlet is going to be. If it ends up on this side, I'm going to have a hard time pulling it over, and I'm going to have to get another hose to replace it, a little longer one. If I get lucky, hopefully it'll end up in the same spot, like right about there. So we'll have to see how it goes. All right, so I got the True Blue on there, the sealant. I'm going to try to do this with one hand here, hand tighten it. Now these, you definitely don't want these to go in crooked. You want to make sure that they go in straight. If it feels weird, if it's not screwing on smoothly, if it's getting stuck in certain parts, it's probably not on straight, and you definitely don't want to force it on, because you'll be looking to replace your water heater. All right, so I'm going to try to get that a little tighter with the pipe wrench and see where we end up. So I got it tightened, and luckily for me, I over-rotated it a little bit so I can get it, so this will go on easy. Now all I have to do is put in this nipple fitting. I'm going to do the longer end. I don't know if they're about the same. It looks like the bottom's a little longer, so I'll put that longer in here. So I got the nipple fitting on there. I hand tightened it. I'm going to use the pipe wrench to tighten it up. It's a lot easier with two hands. Pipe pliers were easier to tighten that up with, so I just used those. What we got left is this, but now we're at a point where I can test the leak. So I'm going to turn the water on now that the valve has been replaced. So providing the valve is good, I'm going to turn this off down here so it doesn't leak. Can come off now. Alright, you can hear it's filling up. Once I stop hearing the water fill up, I know it's filled to the top, and I'll check for leaks. We're real close. You can hear it's quieting down now. Alright, so far so good. No leaks, no water anywhere. So we're going to get this back on here. I'll put the camera down so I can get that on there. Alright, so I hand tighten it on there. It's going to tighten it with the pliers. And that's going to be pretty much it. Not a bad job. It took me about 20 minutes. You know, not counting the trip to Home Depot that I didn't have to take. I took twice. That's good, nice and tight. The motor's already on. No leaking at all. I really have to wait a couple of days to know for sure, but it's looking good. Now we can flip the power on. And we can start taking hot showers again. Alright, not bad for $15. Beats buying a whole new water heater, which can range between $500 to $1,000. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know if you liked this video, if it helped. If you know of a way to do it better, leave a comment. Let us know. Thanks. Bye.